In the closing days of World War II, a cache of plundered gold and diamonds worth tens of millions is hidden away deep in the Alps. And the only clues to its whereabouts are encoded onto a piece of sheet music. It has all the makings of a blockbuster movie, but what if it's all true? The year is 1945. The Nazis, on the brink of defeat, rushed to hide gold and silver from the looted banks of Europe, as well as Hitler's personal stash of diamonds, in a secret location in the German countryside. The location of the treasure is known only to Hitler's closest ally, the keeper of all of his secrets, his secretary, Martin Bormann. After Hitler commits suicide, Bormann flees Hitler's bunker in Berlin and is killed trying to escape the city. As for the looted treasure, it seems to have vanished without a trace. Until now. Today, an investigative journalist thinks he's discovered a clue that could help solve the mystery. Small coded symbols within a musical score once owned by Bormann, believed to contain secret instructions for recovering the gold. And several historians believe they're about to do just that. So is the legend of the stolen Nazi riches real? And if it is, can they be recovered? Join me as I cross Europe to see if the truth really is stranger than fiction. Okay, let's talk about this mysterious music sheet. This music sheet supposedly points to
a stash of Nazi gold and Hitler's personal diamonds, the most expensive diamonds the Nazis ever had.
And tell me how you got involved with this. Where did you first hear this story?
Well, I was working on another book about Nazi art theft, and this guy came up to me and he said, I have this musical sheet, which is actually a coded document drafted by Martin Bormann, Hitler's personal secretary.
If Adolf Hitler was the heart of the Nazi regime, then Martin Bormann might have been its brain. A loyal servant of the party since the days before Hitler took power, Bormann rose to become the Führer's personal secretary. In 1945, with the war almost lost, Bormann was among the inner circle that stood beside Hitler in the Führer bunker. On April 29, 1945, Hitler signed his last will and testament. Bormann was his witness and executor of his estate.
Now, what's interesting that at the end of the war, when they were about to lose the war, they had decided that they wanted to continue their ideals in a Fourth Reich, so to say.
This idea that if the war is lost, if the Third Reich falls, they'll reorganize and come back.
Right. And they had this terror cell called Werwolfen, the werewolves.
The werewolves?
Yeah.
But even werewolves need money. So, according to the story, Bormann had to cover the bill.
To fund that terror group, Werewolf, they needed gold and diamonds. And they had a stash placed somewhere in Bavaria. Now, Bormann needed to get a message to the south, to the leader of the werewolf group there, so he thought very cleverly, I'll have this sheet of music coded to get to that gold and to those diamonds. And he sent a clergyman down south to bring that document to the werewolves.
The Nazis would allegedly use clergy to pass messages through Allied territory, since they would be less likely to be questioned and searched. But if the story is true, the sheet music was never delivered, and it sat collecting dust for over 70 years.
If you want to, I can show you, because I've brought it with me.
You have the original sheet music?
I have the original sheet music.
Yes, I would love to see it. Oh my word.
Take it out. Take it out.
We don white gloves because Hammer says, can't touch this. Wow. Look at that. This is the Marsch Impromptu by the German-American composer Gottlieb Federlein. First of all, before anything else, to think that we may be holding a document here that was in the Führer bunker at the end of World War II is already kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah. It's then probably the last document Bormann ever drafted.
Jean-Christophe.
Hello, Josh.
Good to see you, man.
Guten Tag.
So you think this area has something to do with this music sheet?
Yes.
Why this area?
Because it's in the middle of Germany.
We're close to the Eisenach-Kindl airport, which during the war was such an alluring Allied target that it was firebombed into non-existence. And you think you can connect this place to the music sheet?
Yes,
How?
I'm gonna show you.
All right, so this is a map of Germany.
Yes. We're gonna start with the sentences. There's 6 lines.
This poem of sorts,
Yes,
yeah.
and we're gonna start with the last one.
Okay, the last one.
Enden der Tanz.
Okay, which means?
End of the dance.
End of the dance, all right?
So, for me, it means limit of Germany, and you're gonna see why.
The end of the dance, the edge of the country.
Exactly.
Okay.
Border. Okay.
So we're looking for something on the border.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So now we start back to the first line. Wo Matthias die Steiten strelzt, where Matthias strokes the strings.
Okay, where Matthias strokes the strings.
Matthias Klotz was a famous violin maker in Germany.
Okay, so that's the Matthias who's stroking the strings.
Exactly.
Matthias Klotz was a renowned violin maker from the Bavarian Alps. Jean-Christophe is sure that where Matthias strokes the strings is his hometown of Mittenwald, far to the south of here. So we're gonna circle this, Mittenwald. Okay, what's next? From there, he takes me through the rest of the clues. Edelweiss über Schwarzwald refers to the Edelweiss plant in the southwest of Germany. And kein Wasser kalt, meaning no cold water, may narrow it down further to a hot spring in the town of Bad Säckingen. Okay, so this is location number 2.
Yes.
Okay, we got 2 towns. Now what? The next lines, Predigtstuhl, Kreuz und Kranz, and Nordisch die Kron, Jean-Christophe thinks has connections to 2 towns in the north, Königstuhl and Glucksburg.
Okay, you have 4 cities. So now you have to cross.
Cross the 4 cities?
Yes.
Okay. Jean-Christophe brings out some string to play connect the dots. So we're gonna create an X here, and I assume we're interested in what's at the center, yes?
Exactly.
Eisenach.
That's where we are.
That's where we are right now.
Yes.
And that's why we're here, because
X marks the spot.
X marks the spot. I'm here to meet a pair of researchers who have spent years looking for Bormann's missing millions. Jürgen Prosky and Sebastian Eberl. Using the same 6 lines from the score, Jürgen has reached a totally different interpretation of the clues as Jean-Christophe, though they agree on Mittenwald being the answer to where Matthias strokes the strings. Jürgen believes the Edelweiss refers to nearby army barracks that use the flower as its emblem. The clues about Predigtstuhl, Kreuz, and Kranz, he claims refers to 3 mountains that surround this town. How convinced are you that the treasure is around here?
100%, absolutely. Because all the clues point to here and nowhere else.
Look,
Is it a gun?
That is a gun.
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Holy look at that! It's a rifle.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
rifle.
it's a rifle.
But it's a machine gun, it's a small one. You can see.
God!
That's
It's history.
It's history.
That's history. That's...
Josh, look. The gun has 2 triggers.
dual triggers, look at that.
What gun has 2 triggers?
For a single shot and full automatic.
Are you kidding me with this? This is unbelievable.
What?
Look at that.
That's really, really good.
Really.
Now, there was Wehrmacht in here.
There was German army here.
There was German army in here.
The weapon is likely an Italian-made Beretta submachine gun, frequently used by the German armed forces. The gun was capable of firing 600 rounds per minute and had a range of over 200 yards. It is every bit a weapon of war.
I think it's a German soldier, because the German used also during the end of the war the weapons from the Italians, from the Russians. They hadn't have any more for themselves.
I leave Mittenwald both shaken and stirred. It may be exciting to look for buried riches, but hovering over each step of my journey, the darkness of the Third Reich that cannot be dispelled. So are the symbols on this music sheet Bormann's secret code, or merely an elaborate conspiracy theory? I've gone exploring in the remote corners of Germany's caves and forests in search of the answer, and found not gold, but the scars of a past more recent than we may be comfortable considering.